Ladies and gentlemen, the latest installment of AEW pay-per-view comes to us soon in the form of AEW Dynasty. It takes place April 12th, live from somewhere, and it can be viewed on Prime, HBO Max. If you're international, I think they have like My AEW or something like that now. I think the My AEW package or whatever is actually a pretty good steal. Regarding the Dynasty pay-per-view, is a show marked by a lot of bad blood, by a lot of revenge, by a lot of people who need the win, not just want the win for whatever titles online or not. A lot of people who need in their bones to win the match, and I think it's setting up for a pretty good pay-per-view. In this video, I'm going to talk about the matches that are, as a recording of this video, that are already confirmed. It's about 6, and given like Tony Khan's AEW's booking, expect like, I don't know, another 6 added between now and their pay-per-view. With the 6 matches that we have, I think it's setting up for a good card. I'm going to talk about, give a quick dive into them, and then say who I think should win, and if that's a person that I think will win, because a lot of times that could differ. Before we get into that, as always, go ahead and like and subscribe. It means the world to me. Go ahead and follow me at all socials at It's Heartfelt. And without further ado, let's go ahead and preview AEW Dynasty. As of like I said before, as of right now, there are 6 matches confirmed. I suspect that between Dynamite and Collision, we'll probably get like at least 3 more added to the card, because AEW does a lot of things right, but the one thing they continue to kind of do is these long ass pay-per-views. Like I live central in United States, so the pay-per-view start for me at 7 p.m. and that bitch will run till like midnight. And it's a lot of good matches, but it's just so long. It feels like an overcorrection on their part from like WWE when they have like 4 or 5 matches on a card, and it's mostly ads. AEW is like, no, we'll give you like 15 and just have you there all night. So let's hope it stays like maybe at 8 sweet spot. Kind of hoping, probably not, we'll see. But the first match is confirmed for 0 Hour, which is their pre-show leading into the main show. It's Alex Windsor versus Marina Shafir. There's not too much to go into this match. However, I do think that this match can be used to set up Marina Shafir if done right. I think Marina, in my opinion, Marina should be the one to challenge Willow for the TBS championship next and potentially take it off of her. And for that, I think a convincing win here against Alex Windsor, who is, you know, a strong lady, a win here would help that out. And so I do think Marina should get the win here, and so I'm picking Marina to get the win over Alex Windsor and set herself up for a feud with Willow, either at Double or Nothing or All In. Next, we have Andrade El Idolo versus Darby Allin. This was set up because there's an agreement between MJF, who is the current AEW Men's World Champion, and Don Callis family to take out Darby Allin. That involved a lot of money, but also if Darby can take out somebody of the Don Callis family, he gets a shot at the title. Sure. I mean, we're here. I know I talk shit on socials, especially on X. Follow me over there about like WWE's booking, but this one's kind of, you know, just sure, whatever. So that led up to Andrade being chosen to take out Darby, and leads to this match. If you know who Darby Allin is, you know that he's a reckless dude who'll do nothing like short of murder. And even then, I think if he can get away with it, he would do murder on live TV to win a match. Andrade is, quite frankly, arguably the best wrestler on that roster. I think he's allergic to having a bad match, but given the stipulation that it's only for Darby, if he were to win, he gets the #1 shot. I do think that hinders the unpredictability of it. It's going to be a great match regardless. Andrade can fight a wet paper sack and have a 5-star. Darby's going to throw his body around. But with the stipulation, and I talked about it in a different video, that I do think Darby is MJF's next big challenger. I think it's Darby gets to win here by hook or by crook. I don't know, because you can see Don Callis family getting involved, which leads to Brody King and Jack Perry, and there's somebody else helping out Darby. It's going to be convoluted. It's going to be a lot of interference. It's going to be a mess. In the end, I do think Darby Allin should win here. And so I'm picking Darby Allin to beat Andrade and become the #1 contender for MJF's men's world title, should he lead Dynasty with the title. But we'll get into that. Next, we have FTR versus Cage and Cope, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage for the AEW Men's Tag Team Championships. When I talked about at the beginning that this pay-per-view has a lot of bad blood, this is a example of it. FTR has been feuding with especially Adam Copeland for a while, including last year when FTR gave a concerto to Adam's wife, Beth Phoenix, and just really sent him off. And the feud kind of diverted because Copeland got hurt, but now he's back. Cage is back. They're on the same side again, and they're going after the tag titles and against the people who wronged his wife and just been screwing everybody over left and right while being champs. As far as the match itself, there's not going to be a lot of technicality with this one. You're not going to see a lot of cool fancy moves or holds. It's going to be a bunch of fists, a lot of anger, a lot of emotion. You're going to see Stokely, FTR's manager, up to his treacherous ways. As far as the overall winner, I could very well see Cage and Cope winning here, but given the fact that the Young Bucks are still in play somewhat for the tag title feud, and I really think AEW wants to do a huge triple threat match for those titles, I think switching a title may lessen the overall impact of FTR eventually losing if the idea is to throw it on the Young Bucks again, which I'm leaning towards that's the gameplay. I'm not sure. Maybe Cage and Cope get a run with its belts, but I think they're more focused on revenge, and then taking that tag titles is just like a bonus. Look for FTR to find a way to sneak away with the titles through some treacherous means. But yeah, FTR retains here. Cage and Cope still get their pound of flesh afterwards. We have Thekla versus Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's World Championship. And this one is not much story with it. Kinda. Thekla has been having a great run with a title. She's being allowed to show off her asshole, cocky, heel ways. And Jamie Hayter is like, oh, I never lost a title, which she had to relinquish due to injury years ago. And she's like, no, I need to get back to being the champ and the badass that I know I am. So, which is how this came about. These two women know how to have a wrestling match disguised as a fight. And what I mean by that is it's going to be a fight. It's going to be stiff. It's going to be hard, but they're going to be technical in there, going to throw it down. Two of the toughest on the roster. And this is one that if I ask you what's a match of the night going to be, it's not going to be your first, maybe second answer, but this could very well sneak in there. These are two fantastic wrestlers who know how to do a great match. And if they're given enough time, I think they're going to surprise people. As far as a winner, as much as Hayter winning would be a fun moment, I don't think it makes sense here. I think Thekla's being too good of a champion. There's too much run with her as the champ still. So, you know what? I was originally going to say, it's Sisters of Sin gets involved, which leads to the Alex Windsor and Amina getting involved. That's still probably going to happen. But I could also see Thekla just straight up winning clean, showing her dominance. Either way, Thekla wins and continues to tease the Brawling Birds and Mina for the whole Tony Storm murder. If they're calling it a murder, let me look it up. They're calling it a murder. But yeah, Thekla leaves Dynasty with the title. All right, now we have arguably the baddest blood of the card in Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay for the AEW Continental Championship. And if you're unaware, several months ago, Jon Moxley and a Death Rider stomped on Will's neck, trying to end his career, and nearly very well almost ended his career, like factually. But Will's back. He wants blood. He wants revenge. It's that simple. It's a simple ass story, but it's a good one. And now they're going to fight at Dynasty and with the addition of the Continental title being on the line, grudge match, blood, sweat, tears, all that kind of stuff. Expect that in buckets, especially that is on a pay-per-view. AEW loves to have that on pay-per-view. Just ask my wife. She's like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. As far as the match, how it goes, if the title wasn't on the line, I could very well just be like straight up, yeah, Will's winning. John can sit there and take a loss and turn around and be dominant like the next week, and it makes sense. And Will getting his revenge will be a nice lead in to what I think starts his ascension to a program over the men's world title for All In, given that it's in London. But with the AEW Continental title being on the line in this match, I'm worried that if Will wins, that ties him down to that title for the foreseeable future, which would be weird. Not weird, but to me, rushed that he went to winning the title, to dropping the title, to immediately going towards the world title, to winning that in the span of what, 3.5 months? Where are we at? 4 months? I think that Will needs to stay away from the Continental sphere and just solely focus on the men's title, which is like getting his number one contendership at Double or Nothing. Should they run that kind of stipulation again, Mox can continue to hold the Continental and drop it to someone who's more emotionally invested in the title, not just him. So with that, it's gonna be a bloody match. The Death Riders probably get involved. I do think that by hook or by crook, Moxley somehow retains his championship, but Will beats his ass like right afterwards. Like, Moxley leaves with the title, but he's not leaving under his own power. I don't know if that still satisfy Will. I don't know if they run it back later on, but I think that's just the way they go. Will moves on to the men's world title. So give me Mox to retain, but barely. It's such good shit. All right, we come to the main event. We have the AEW Men's World Heavyweight Championship on the line. We have MJF, the champion, Kenny Omega, the challenger. We have the Devil versus the God of Pro Wrestling, which is how this match is being built. Two of the biggest names in AEW, two of the biggest names in pro wrestling. One is an all-timer, one is getting there, and they're going to settle out a dynasty. Now, a lot of the build for this program has been MJF, attacking Kenny's age and health and telling him his time is coming to an end. And it's all stuff Kenny has brought up himself. He's like, oh, I know that like I'm staring at the end more than I'm staring at the beginning. And Kenny wants to win a title one more time to cement to himself and to others that he's indeed one of the greatest, even though we already all look at him as one of the greatest to ever do it. And that is a great story, and this will be a good match, and it will be a match that I think people aren't going to expect how good it is, because we know Maxwell Jacob Friedman is a great wrestler, but to me, that at least the bigger audience doesn't give him the respect that he does. They know he's a great character. Nobody's denying his character work. Boom, A+. But he can go. He can wrestle different matches. He can do like a brawling match. He can do a technical match. He can do a hardcore match. He has shown that he can succeed and thrive in any environment. And again, Kenny is one of the best to ever do it. This match will be good. This will be awesome. It'll probably be long as shit. It will just be long. But as far as a winner, the feel-good moment here is Kenny Omega. The feel-good spot is Kenny Omega hoisting a title and be like, yeah, I did it. And his fans like, yeah, you did it. Yeah, ooh, yeah. But that moment will happen, just not April 12th. There's no reason to put the title on Kenny Omega right now. MJF is still running with this title reign. If there's anywhere for MJF to drop the title, it's at All In against Will Ospreay. At least that's what I believe. So Kenny will not win the title here. He'll get close. He'll get really close, but he will not get the title here. It would be MJF. He walks in as a champ. He walks out as a champ. The Devil of Pro Wrestling stands tall. MJF will retain his AEW Men's World Heavyweight Championship. That's all the matches so far. quick rundown. I have Marino winning. I have Darby Allin winning. I have FTR retaining. I have Declan retaining. Mox retaining. MJF retaining. I guess I don't have a title change happening this pay-per-view. But as far as my predicted match of the night, I do think it'll be Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay. That is the biggest potential for like blood and bruises and tears and hard stiff hitting. I think FTR and Cage and Cope comes close to that, along with MJF, Kenny Omega. But I do think the most potential for super emotion is that Mox and Will match. So I do think that'll be the match at night. And my MVP predicted for the night will be FTR. I love Adam Copeland. Edge was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. Christian Cage is fantastic, but they're like what, 50 something. They can still move someone, but just not as much. And I do think FTR does a lot of the heavy lifting in that match to make it great. So look for FTR to be my MVP tonight. That gets the best match possible out of Cage and Cope. But that's going to do it for the predictions. Let me know in a comment, who do you think wins? Who do you think is going to be MVP? What do you think match at night was going to be? As always, enjoy the show. I hope you enjoyed Dynasty. Hope it's great for you. Hope you get some decent sleep afterwards. We're all going to try to. But as always, again, please like and subscribe. If you made this far, it means the world to me. Go ahead and follow me at all socials as Heartfelt. I will catch you guys in the next video. And once again, enjoy just pro wrestling. It's great. Best medium out there. All right. That's all I got for you guys. Peace.